Welcome to today's episode on our YouTube channel, where we're diving into the powerful world of positive reinforcement. If you've ever wondered how habits form or how to encourage good behavior, you're in the right place. Today, we'll explore what positive reinforcement is, how it works, and why it's such an effective tool in shaping behavior. We'll break down the concept with easy-to-understand examples and show you how to apply these principles in everyday situations. Whether you're a parent, teacher, or simply interested in psychology, you'll find practical tips to make positive reinforcement work for you. So, let's get started and unlock the potential of positive reinforcement together. What is positive reinforcement? When someone does something that is immediately followed by a reward, and as a result, they are more likely to do that thing again. For example, if a child gets a sticker each time they clean their room and starts cleaning more often, the sticker is the positive reinforcer. Another example, a student answers a question correctly in class, and the teacher immediately says, "Good job." This praise makes the student more likely to participate again. Here, the praise is the positive reinforcer. Let's take a look at some characteristics of positive reinforcement. Timing matters. The reward should be given right after the behavior to be most effective. Even a short delay, like 1 second, can make the reward less effective. For example, if a coach praises an athlete right after a well-executed play, the praise is more effective in reinforcing that behavior than if the praise is given after the game. Long delays less effective. If the reward is delayed for a long time, it won't really help in increasing the behavior. For example, giving a child a treat a day after they've cleaned their room might not encourage them to clean again. If a boss waits until a yearly review to praise an employee for a project completed months ago, the praise won't strongly reinforce the behavior at the moment. Misconceptions. Some people think reinforcement is a confusing concept because it seems like the behavior and the reward depend too much on each other. However, we can clearly separate the behavior from its consequence and see if changing the consequence affects the behavior. For example, some may argue that rewarding a child for drawing only teaches them to draw for rewards, not for enjoyment. However, if you vary the rewards and the way you give them, you can actually encourage more spontaneous drawing. Beyond just increasing behavior, reinforcement not only makes a behavior happen more often, it also changes how we react to things that happen right before the rewarded behavior. For instance, if a light always turns on right before a dog gets food, the dog will start to get excited just seeing the light, expecting food. For example, if a bell rings every time a dog is about to be fed, the dog will start to wag its tail just at the sound of the bell, expecting food. The bell becomes a discriminative stimulus for feeding. Discriminated operant. This is a fancy term for a behavior that is controlled by what happens right before and after it. For example, if a dog sits behavior when it hears sit signal before the behavior, and then gets a treat reward after the behavior. Sit is the signal that the treat is available if the dog performs the behavior. Another example, in a workplace, an employee files reports when a reminder, discriminative stimulus pops up because previously completing these tasks led to recognition positive reinforcement from their supervisor. How motivation affects reinforcement. The current state of wanting or not wanting the reward affects how well reinforcement works. For example, a hungry dog will find food a more effective reward than a dog that has just eaten. Another example, a child might not find a sticker rewarding if they have already received many stickers that day, abolishing operation due to satiation, but might find it very rewarding if they haven't received any stickers for a week, establishing operation due to deprivation. 4-term contingency. For a complete understanding, consider the state of wanting like hunger, the signal like sit, the behavior like sitting, and the reward like a treat. All these factors together influence whether the behavior will increase. For example, consider a scenario where a student motivated by hunger, sees a vending machine, ASD, that dispenses their favorite snack, inserts money R, and receives the snack as R. The whole process increases the likelihood of using the vending machine again under similar conditions. Automaticity of reinforcement. A person doesn't need to understand why the reward follows their behavior for reinforcement to work. Even if they don't realize they are being rewarded, their behavior can still increase. For example, a person might start keeping their workstation tidier after noticing they feel less stressed with a clean desk, even if they are not consciously aware that the cleanliness is reducing their stress. No logical connection needed. The behavior doesn't have to be logically connected to the reward. For example, if a light flickers when someone walks past a sensor, and they find flickering lights rewarding, they might start walking past the sensor more often, even though walking and flickering lights don't logically connect. For example, suppose someone randomly received an online coupon after clicking on a digital ad they had no interest in. They might start clicking on similar ads hoping for more coupons, even though the two aren't logically connected. Arbitrariness of reinforcement. Reinforcement can shape any kind of behavior, even weird or unhelpful ones, just because that behavior was accidentally followed by something the person found rewarding. For example, a person may develop a habit of spinning in their office chair whenever they successfully complete a task, because once, on a particularly stressful day, spinning in the chair happened to help relieve their tension. This behavior could become reinforced, even though it's arbitrary relative to the task. Automatic reinforcement. Sometimes, behaviors increase just because they feel good to the person doing them, not because someone else is giving a reward. For example, a child might continue to rock back and forth because it feels soothing, not because they are getting attention from it. For example, a person might hum to themselves while working on a difficult task, because it unconsciously helps them concentrate. This behavior persists simply because it's internally reinforcing, making the task more manageable. Mock exam 1. Which scenario best describes positive reinforcement? 1. A child cleans their room, and as a result, is not allowed to watch TV. 2. A dog sits on command and immediately receives a treat. 3. A student fails to submit homework on time and is given additional assignments. 4. A worker is late to the meeting and receives a warning from their manager. Correct answer is 2. A dog sits on command and immediately receives a treat. This scenario illustrates positive reinforcement because the dog's behavior, sitting on command, is immediately followed by a rewarding stimulus, receiving a treat, which increases the likelihood of the behavior occurring again. Mock exam 2. What is the role of a positive reinforcer in behavior modification? 1. It punishes the behavior to decrease its occurrence. 2. It removes an uncomfortable stimulus to increase a behavior. 3. It provides a reward that increases the likelihood of a behavior repeating. 4. It signals the removal of a privilege to reduce unwanted behavior. Correct answer is 3. It provides a reward that increases the likelihood of a behavior repeating. A positive reinforcer is a reward that follows a behavior, and increases the likelihood of that behavior being repeated in the future. Mock exam 3. Why is timing important in the effectiveness of positive reinforcement? 1. Immediate reinforcement is less effective than delayed reinforcement. 2. Delays in reinforcement do not affect the learning process. 3. Immediate reinforcement significantly enhances the association between behavior and reward. 4. Reinforcement should only be applied long after the behavior to be effective. Correct answer is 3. Immediate reinforcement significantly enhances the association between behavior and reward. Immediate reinforcement helps establish a clear and effective connection between the behavior and the reward, making it more likely for the behavior to be repeated. Mock exam 4. In a classroom setting, which example reflects positive reinforcement? 1. Removing a difficult math problem as a result of good behavior. 2. Giving extra recess time after a class completes all assignments on time. 3. Implementing a timeout for disruptive behavior during lessons. 4. Scolding a student for not paying attention during the lecture. Correct answer is 2. Giving extra recess time after a class completes all assignments on time. This is an example of positive reinforcement. Because completing assignments on time behavior leads to a desirable outcome, extra recess time, which is likely to encourage students to complete assignments on time in the future. Mock exam 5. Mock exam 5. Which statement correctly describes the effect of positive reinforcement? 1. It increases the future occurrence of the behavior it follows by presenting an aversive stimulus. 2. It decreases the likelihood of a behavior by introducing a pleasant stimulus immediately after the behavior. 3. It increases the likelihood of a behavior by removing a pleasant stimulus immediately after the behavior. 4. It increases the future occurrence of the behavior it follows by presenting a pleasant stimulus immediately after the behavior. Correct answer is 4. It increases the future occurrence of the behavior it follows by presenting a pleasant stimulus immediately after the behavior. Positive reinforcement involves presenting a pleasant or desirable stimulus right after a behavior, which increases the probability that the behavior will occur again in the future. Thank you so much for joining us today and exploring the fascinating world of positive reinforcement. If you found this video helpful and informative, please give it a thumbs up and don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you won't miss out on our upcoming content. We love hearing from you, so please leave a comment below to share your thoughts or questions. Sharing this video with friends or on social media helps us grow and continue to bring you great content. Thanks again for watching, and we look forward to seeing you in the next video.